Okay, welcome to the third presentation in the series on creating the buzz, social media for sustained tourism growth. And in this short presentation, now that we've presented an overview of what social media is, and Alan's looked at social media monitoring tools in terms of assessing performance, we'll conclude by providing some advice in terms of getting there. Some of the things that you should be considering at the moment to move to the next stage of your social media development. And I'd like to start just by presenting what we think are the top 10 social media tips for tourism and hospitality businesses, and we'll cover these fairly briefly. The first thing I'd like to mention is the mindset change. Social media, as has been mentioned in the previous two presentations, does require quite a different mindset. It's a mindset where marketing is seen as a conversation with your customers. It's a mindset where we measure performance in terms of what Alan talked about, the 4 I's: involvement, interactivity, intimacy, and influence. The response policy for review and recommendation sites, I'll cover that in a moment. We would strongly advise that you get involved and learn more. The more you get involved with social media, the more you learn about it, the more excited you become, the more you see the opportunities for your business. Learn by doing. Get up the social media learning curve. And then points 4 and 5. Undertake an internal and external audit. By an internal audit, we mean ask yourself questions. Are we ready to engage with social media? Do we have the time and resources to do it? If not, where do we find the time and resources? And if you are short of management time and resource, perhaps you should be thinking of employing a part-time buzz builder, a young person who can help you in terms of your social media development. The external audit, your social media landscape. Alan has shown the way in which emerging social media monitoring tools can be used to evaluate who is talking about your brand where online. Where are the conversations taking place? What is being said about you, and how should you participate? So these all establish the foundations for your future involvement in social media. But at some point, we would recommend that you develop a clear social media strategy. It doesn't require you to engage in a 3-year planning cycle, but you need to agree your vision. You need to agree the strategic objectives you're trying to achieve. You need to agree the key performance measures that you're going to use to monitor your social media activities. And one of the key things there is point 7, making sure that your social media activities are fully aligned and supportive of your core business objectives. And a lot of companies forget about that. You only engage in social media if it helps you to achieve your core strategic objectives. Point 8 is critical, the organisation and people aspects. Are we organised properly to engage with social media? Who's going to do it? Key performance indicators. Think about the 4 I's and then begin the dialogue. Spend the time talking to and entering into two-way dialogue with your customers. Just a very quick comment on your response policy to review and recommendation sites such as TripAdvisor. In presentation 1, we showed the way in which one hotel responded. And I think the key lessons from that example are very simple. You monitor what's been said about your brand. If someone leaves a negative comment, or indeed if someone leaves a positive comment, then thank them for taking the time to leave a review. If it's a negative comment, highlight any positive aspects first. Emphasize your customer centricity. And emphasize that their poor customer experience was atypical. It was unusual. Then apologize. If it's a legitimate complaint, mention how you're going to take action to make sure that that doesn't happen again. and if necessary, encourage the person to take the further discussion of this offline. Encourage them to email you to continue the discussion out with the review and recommendation site. That advice there is often very, very difficult for many people to accept because we don't like to be criticised. But what you have to remember is that your response on TripAdvisor or any other review and recommendation site leaves a digital footprint telling other readers what your company is all about. And if you respond in an arrogant or slightly aggressive way, then just remember it sends a very, very strong message to other potential customers. So in conclusion, I'd like you to think about our social media development cycle. Basically, it's the 7 key issues there. Audit your current activity. Many tourist organisations are already making progress in social media. But where are we? What progress have we made? Benchmarked against best practice in our industry? What progress have we made in terms of where we should be? Where are we compared with where the ideal situation where we should be? Monitor our social media landscape. Who is talking about us where? And use some of these social media monitoring tools. Knowledge transfer. Continue to improve our knowledge and understanding of social media by attending workshops, seminars, getting involved in online communities that are discussing these issues. And then, at some point, very quickly, develop a social media strategy. And make sure that that social media strategy is closely linked and fully supportive of your core business objectives. Then you look at your organization. Do we have the capability to implement that strategy? Do we have the resources, the skills? And if not, where do we find these skills? And then we begin to implement the strategy and the vision and continue to monitor our success in social media on an ongoing basis. And the bottom line is that if we do this properly, if we have a clear social media vision and strategy for the future, it will deliver real business benefits for our organizations. Business benefits which we can measure to a very high degree of accuracy. We hope that you've enjoyed this series of 3 very short presentations on social media for tourism and hospitality businesses. And we would hope that you would join us on tourism2.0.co.uk to further engage on what we consider to be a mission critical issue as far as the future of Scottish tourism is concerned. Thank you.